Help if I remember to add us to the stream, wouldn't it?
But of course.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, Society 11, depending on where in the world you are. It's good to be here again on a Friday. We are live.
We
How's
are
your week
live.
been?
I'm alive. I'm alive. Are you alive? I
I'm
think we're all
alive. I'm alive. I'm getting back to life. I've had a week of still sorting things out up until about middle of the week, and then yesterday I was like, right, let's get back into some work. And then I sat at the computer and was just like, I am so tired. But I'm feeling better today and a bit more on form and getting back into the flow of things. It's nice to have the office set back up how I want it and everything else. So that is good. Let's say hello to some people. Here we go. Jerome Johnson. Hi, Doug Halfpenny. Didn't get in with the first comment today. That you're letting it slip, Doug.
I know it. I mean, he's really slipping.
Tom Clark, whose question we will be answering shortly. Excellent question from Tom Clark this week. He's asked all about building Facebook groups. In fact, I'll read his question now, but we won't answer it until a little bit later. But his question is, what's the best way to start a Facebook group? Should I add content first, do a case study type thing? How do you get people to come to the group? And then he says he knows that Zuckerberg doesn't like people sharing links to things outside of Facebook, but is it possible to monetize it? And yes, and we will discuss all of that a little bit later.
In depth. That's right.
Yes. You've come to the right place for that. Kurt, especially, has got a massive experience in Facebook groups and building them and things like that. So, yes, good stuff coming on that. Also, I see that Mike H has been working on a PDF for YouTube Shorts, and I'm sure Kurt will get in touch with your links if he hasn't already, because he's after some affiliate links so that he can put them.
I've already said I will send them after the live.
Yes, perfect. So there's that. Hi, so let's finish saying hello. It's Chad. Chad Eldridge is on. Hi, Chad. Chad's got some good stuff going on at the moment. I've been watching his marketing and stuff on Facebook. Yeah, love it. And oh, look at that! Steve Miller has a streaming on an actual TV. Well, there you go.
Wow.
Quick snap a photo, Steve, and yeah, we've got to see that. We've got to see ourselves on a big screen. I could do that as well, actually. Hi, Mike H. Loy, hello. Eli, hello. I think there's Tom Griffin is here as well. So
he found us. Oh crap!
Dear me, we'll have to run away. And hi, Summers. Carl as well. Hello, Carl. Good evening. He says, Carl from the capital of the free world. Yes, Carl is in Moscow, I believe. So anyway, I hope you've had a good week. It is my week of really getting back into it, or certainly today is, if I'm honest. It's not been a full week of getting back into it. But I've kept things rolling. But I mean, although I haven't been officially working, I've still had my emails going out, and I've still had, marketing campaigns running. And that's the beauty of this business. You can, once you've got something established, you can take time off if you need to. I've taken the best part of 2 months off because I was forced to.
Right.
During that time, I'm able to keep important things going. I can book my paid traffic, I can book this, I can book that. And I know that if I do that, a certain amount of revenue comes back. So that's where you want to build your business too. So you get to a stage where if you need to. Now, you don't get wrong. My income dropped while I wasn't working all the time. Of course it did. I'm not creating new content. I wasn't doing many of the things I do on a regular basis. Right. So yes, of course you take a hit, but I mean, I'm in a good position. But this is what you do. This is what we're about. It's what we're about teaching others to do as well. Build sustainable businesses that you get to do what you like the most when you like and get paid for it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if you're just over there in the Moneymakers group, well, guess what? You're missing out on all this juice. You're missing out on all this good stuff. You're missing out on on all the support that you get inside the main group. And, what can I say? How much longer are you going to keep missing out? We're about to talk about building successful Facebook groups and other stuff in today's episode. And all you're going to get to see is this. There we go. That's the moneymakers gone. So now we can actually talk and answer questions. I didn't just want to endlessly ramble today for nothing. So let's get into the questions we've been asked, among other things. Tom Clark's question about Facebook groups. Obviously, Kurt and I have built, we've got Society 11 as a group. I'm going to just make this one point about Facebook groups, and then I'm going to shut up and let Kurt take over for a bit, because he's got even more experience than I have in this, and you want to hear from the person with the most experience. But just let me say this. Facebook groups are fine, but never build your entire business on someone else's platform.
Bingo.
The one thing we have done with Society 11 from the get-go, we have had a membership site system on the side. That's Product Dino. It's not ours either, really. But by having that, every time when someone joins through Thrivecart or Zoo, as it was back in the day, they go into Product Dino. Their email addresses get put onto a Society 11 group on my email list and Kurt's email list, and we add you to a Facebook group.
Yes.
If any one of those things was to disappear overnight, Society 11 keeps going. If Mark Zuckerberg or Facebook or whatever, for whatever reason, decided Society 11 wasn't allowed to have a group on our platform anymore and pull the plug, you would have an email the same day telling you it happened and telling you where we're meeting instead. It wouldn't be a problem. We've got that. So I just wanted to make that clear. Facebook groups are great, but you need to get that audience in multiple places. Now, having said that, I'm going to shut up a bit and let Kurt talk about building Facebook groups.
Excellent. So first, there's a few things that you're going to need before setting up your Facebook group. And this is number one. You need to hammer out your description. I made a mistake just recently on a Facebook group that I set up. It's true. I make mistakes. So what I did is I created a Facebook group. I'm going to share the screen here. That was originally called Vidnami Automated. And I did not have a full hammered out description of the group. In the description of this group, I did not make sure, this is my issue, I did not have Vidnami is a registered trademark of this company. Vidnami Automated is not a product of this company. I did not have that in there whatsoever. So I had to recreate it and then re-invite people to this Facebook group. I did this yesterday at 10 a.m. You saw that. So in that amount of time, we are up to 65 members so far, getting people back into it. So what I did is once you have your description done, you're going to need to have a decent looking header. Create that at Canva. And actually the sizes of that is pretty simple.
Canva's got templates for Facebook headers, so you don't even need to think about it.
Exactly. But underneath all my designs, I have a crap ton that I've already got made. You can look through them, but yes, exactly. They have your own. As you see, I used the crap out of Canva, but this is the one right here. If I come up here, if I click on resize, it'll actually tell me it's 1240 by 324. I also use this on my Gumroad, the exact same one, just FYI.
Mm-hmm.
So once I have that created, I make sure to post a description. I post that up there. And then what I do is I come right down the settings and I make sure that what I'm doing right now is public groups. Public groups, people can see what's in there, and I make sure that it's a visible. So you could actually hide a public group. I don't understand why you would want to do that, but you can. And then you can make your groups private to only members who are in the group can see what's posted. Public groups, anyone can see what's in the group and see what they post, but they can't join in. They can't comment. They can't make their own post, etc. So there's pros and cons to both. For this one, since it's sales driven, I'm leaving it public. Location does not matter. If you're doing a local group, a local business group, go ahead and choose your location. If not, if it's worldwide, don't set it. Leave it alone. Of course, your name and description, there's the name, and then there's the description. And I make sure that this is pretty hammered out. This is what it's about. This is about this tool. It's a support for this group. Yes, I have paid Canva. Just FYI, I have Canva Pro. I make sure it's spelled out there as well. The next thing I do is I come down to customize web address, because you just don't want a bunch of numbers here. You want to customize it to your particular brand. Sometimes it may not be available. If so, just spell it out a little bit more, or like the real, and then put the rest, or real whatever.
So make sure Facebook they used to make you wait until you had a certain number of members. Do they not do that now?
10.
At 10. Okay, it's still 10.
So
if you don't have 10 friends, you can convince or come and join.
And as it says right here, once you reach more than 5,000 members, you won't be able to change this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So you could change it up to that point. Next thing is the group color. Totally up to you. You could use the branding from your actual header, choose your own color, etc. It's not that important, honestly. Just something that you could look at. Group affiliation, in other words, what other groups are you a part of? The admin's name will then appear at the bottom. If you want your name on the group, you can. Totally up to you. I leave it off. Now, this is the extra stuff here. Guides are as if you're going to be doing teaching, enable it. If you're going to be doing videos to where you're going to be training, etc., turn on your guides. They used to be called units, but they're now called guides. So when someone joins your group, they can go through your guides and learn your particular product or your services or how you do things, your case studies, etc. This is how you can use groups to be the product that you're delivering. Very good right here. Host on a Q&A. I haven't really worked on that. So at this point in time, the Q&As are like ask a question. So right now it is enabled. I may leave it on there because someone may ask a question in the group and that looks good. So I like that. Who can go ahead?
I was just going to say, I mean, most of this, I think Tom can work out this side of it. The key question we've got is
growing the group.
Right. Should he add content first, or maybe do a case study type thing? And also his second part of the question is, how do you get people to come to the group?
Okay.
And so a big part of that is going to be your hook. Decide what your group is about, what your big promise is.
And thus, this is the description, and it says it right here. I make this as my pinned post as well. So this is the very first thing. This is what they see that it's about. This is in the description as well. If you want to put your group rules in here as well, you can. Totally up to you. But there's also, you're going to be able to have your group rules appended here as well. Once you have this is the main post that people are going to have. If you have some stuff that you could throw up quickly, 5 posts maybe, sure. Don't get inundated with trying to do 5 posts. Just do at least the main description. You don't have to have a lot of posts in there. You don't have to have a lot of content. What you do need is a good description. Everyone looks at this, they're realizing this is a support group for this tool. Plain and simple. They can look right at it, talks about it, full 9 yards. Even tells update versions of what's going on.
A big part of it, Tom, is think of it like a product. Create your hook. So think of a headline, think of what's going to hook people in.
Right.
And that's what you want to build it around. One key, USP type thing. then it makes it easier to get people in, because then you can go around Facebook going, do you want a place where you can do X, Y, and Z? And they go, yes. And you go, link.
And here's the thing. This is the reason why your header is so important, because this image gets shared out. People are visual creatures.
Mm-hmm.
You have a good looking, enticing header, it's going to invite them to come in. If it's the default one, they're going to ignore the crap out of you. So you have to make sure this information is valid as well. Because when you make that actual post, I'm going to scroll down here. When you actually change the actual header, it shows up here as well. So this is another place that you can put some information in. People can click that image, you can do whatever, but this is the actual image being used. You cannot delete this post, FYI. You delete the post, you delete your header image.
Yeah. When you come to when you say, should you add content, you want something in there, because bear in mind, when people join, if it's empty, that's pointless. I normally do at least an intro video or something, and then just do a post that says, watch this first, pin it. Because also, when people first join your group, they get taken into it. And if they see something like that, watch this first, they will. That means they have engaged. That means Facebook, when you post the next thing, are likely to show it on their wall, which is important. Right. So you need some content. And if you do a short intro video of a few minutes, can just be head and shoulders, you telling them what it's about and what they're going to get out of the group and what's coming, and everything that you're promising them. The fact they've watched it, that engagement, it scores massively with Facebook. Video engagement really scores. And that means that when you share future posts and things, you're going to get more exposure.
And with the way Facebook is utilizing and promoting public groups, you're going to get a lot of exposure, because when people post in it, it posts on everyone's wall. They see it all underneath the groups tab. They'll see all of the actual posts going on, as well as in their timeline. On the timeline, there's one from Gary. It's the very first one. There's another one in Warrior Plus. You could see how these are all groups. They are promoting.
Facebook is constantly scoring how good a group is or how good something is by the engagement it gets. So
yes.
Engaging content, encourage them to watch it straight away while they're in the group. It's the same as when you first get someone in the members area. Hit them with the, well done, you're in, and now you've got to go for this content. Also, you might want to buy this. You do all of those bits there. That's as much content as you need to get a group started. The actual delivering on the promise you've made for members of the group comes later. But you at least want an intro that just about everyone will watch, which is why I say keep it under 3 minutes.
Correct. Now, to quickly get your group up to where you get 5 or 10 members, this little button right here, the invite button. You could scroll right through and then select people that you know are going to join your group. Reach out to them, say, hey, I'm going to invite you to this group. Go ahead and accept. This is what it's about. Messenger. Do not be afraid to reach out to people. Ooh, there's David Kirby. And let's go ahead and, that was a joke. No one laughed. Okay. So yeah, go ahead and find 10 people that you're going to scroll through. Go, yeah, I know this person's into this. I know this person's into it. Wabata, he's always.
I genuinely think in most cases, even if it's not in the right niche for people, if a Society 11 member posting S11, I've started a group, I need to just get my 10 members so I can set the name and all of that. You're going to find 10 volunteers in no time. We'll help each other out,
Exactly.
And any S11 member that sends me a group invite, I'm going to accept it.
And here's the other nice part. Automatic member approval, set up the criteria. So if you're friends with someone already, or if they're friends with someone already in the group, they're get auto accepted. You could do a profile. You haven't set up questions but if you have questions, it will auto approve them as well. Joined Facebook at least a year ago, etc. You could change some automatic approval criteria. They used to have group rules or if they were already a part of a different group, they would be
Yeah.
auto-approved. They took that away. That was something that they just recently removed.
We loved that because it meant that anyone that was in our paid group, we could let them into the free group without them asking for approval and stuff like that. And I also used to have it set up in the internet marketing group that we have that's got loads of members that aren't engaged. I set it up so that S11 members' posts were automatically approved. But I don't think that works now. I think we have to approve them again.
Yep, exactly. You do. Oh, and even on a public group, you're going to have to approve them.
Yeah.
So no longer is it just auto-approved. You still have to approve them. And here's the nice part. Once you got your name, once you get your 10 members, you could change your name. Actually, I was able to change that after 5 members, so they may have changed that as well. So
yes, Loy, we use both Kurt and I have got our own Canva accounts, and yes, I pay Canva. It's $10 a month for the pro, and honestly, for what you get, all the templates, I saved the $10 in a month, the first month, because I outsourced less, cover design, because basic stuff I would do myself in that. So yeah.
So the next thing is a copy of that URL. The actual URL for the actual Facebook group in your address bar, copy it. Go to your home page, go to your actual profile, make a post about it. The minute you paste that in.
That is the big secret when it comes to how do I get people into the group? Tell people about it. I mean, honestly, it doesn't get much easier. Initially, that's what you do. And you can get word out about it in all sorts of ways. It comes down to the same old thing. Go where your potential audience is. So go to all the groups they're already in, the forums, the things like that, and take part and drop your link now and again. That's it. That is the most simple way of building traffic. Once you've got an established group and you start to monetize it and make money, then you can spend some of that money on driving paid traffic at maybe a landing page that takes them into the group.
Or a redirect to the actual group. Totally up to you. Many different ways that you could do that. If you have an email list, email out your email list. I do that 2 to 3 times the opening week of it. If you just email out to your customers once something, you're missing the boat. Email out 2 to 3 times, change up the subject lines, change the copy just a little bit. Make it more enticing. Tell them about a PDF that you uploaded into the group. That's the piece of copy that you could use as well. A little piece of training that you've got going on. Tell them about that, and it will make them click, hey, I want to see that. Boom. Oh, I got to join the group. No biggie. Click, and they'll join your group. This will get targeted people into your group, because that's exactly what you're wanting, right? You just don't want everyone, unless you're doing like a cooking or just a broad open group. Absolutely. So once you paste your link in your post, you can delete the link itself, type in your own text, etc. And it'll still share this actual image. Like I said here, you have to have a good looking, engaging image. It is the exact same image here. It just sliced it down the center. So I knew exactly how to set those up. Couple of other things. Tag some friends when you post. Don't tag a bunch. Tag a few people that you know are not going to scream at you for tagging them.
And then once you got your group going, if you're going to do lives, talk to Kurt about his tool for keeping group engagement up on that, which we've spoken about before. So we won't bang on about it today, but you know, that makes a big difference as well. I think the biggest trick, though, is when you create the group, be clear on what your problem, what the goal is, what the promise is, what people are going to get as a result. You know, at the end of the day, what's in it for me? That's what people are always thinking. That's the subtext of their thinking and thought processes. So, you know.
Absolutely, Doug. You're absolutely right. Keep your face off of any image. Correct.
So hopefully that has given you the answers that you need and you've got some inspiration. If you've got any further questions on it, of course, you can ask in the group and we'll be happy to chip in. The only thing I wanted to say, Tom's also did a great share this week, which we mentioned earlier today. Let me take your screen off and put mine up for a second, because he was the one that shared this, which I think is a great story. There's a guy in New York who is selling his, I assume, fart sound as an NFT. And the current bidding is up to $183. So, you know what?
I'm sure the New York Post here has helped get the price raised up quite a bit.
I bet it's gone up since then. I don't know where you go to look for this sort of thing. I haven't really got into it a lot, but you know, NFT, there's stuff happening with it. It's still a bit jokey. It's still a bit people messing around, but it shows there's potential in it, and it's a technology to keep your eye on. That's all I'm going to really say. I don't think it's something to invest massively in at the moment, but it's something to keep a close eye on. Interesting stat from Chad, who says that Facebook groups have become an important part of his online business, accounting for 40% of his income. So yeah, Facebook, I mean, I use Facebook massively for business. In fact, I tell my personal friends, yeah, you can add me on Facebook, but just bear in mind, I don't, you know, a lot of what I post is business stuff. So yeah. Well, it's how you just use it.
There's many different ways that you can use Facebook too. So when you get friends in, categorize them.
Yes, you can categorize them.
I mean, that is not that difficult to do either. If you're having issues with sorting out who your friends are and who your enemies are, and just make them rich and then find out which is which. Anyway, just kidding. It's really simple. It really is. What you're going to do is go into your friends, click on the three dots, click on edit friends list, and you're going to notice that I created actual categories and then tag people in those. And then when I make a post, I actually come over to security and I'm doing friends except mainly my day job and my church, because they don't need to see my business stuff.
Yeah.
That's just the way I do it. And then, of course, if I want to make a post that only us 11 members can see, I could do that as well. Or I could just do it inside the actual Facebook group.
Of course. Andy looking for a fart? No, I wasn't looking for one. I think Tom was. He was the one that found it. Saying,
well, Tom's now saying burps are new farts.
They could be. You want to be different.
And orange is the new black as well.
Okay, Robert Borsak, I'm not a number. I'm a free man. Good for you.
Of course you're a free man.
Right. That is our live for this week. Tonight, 9 p.m. London time. And at the moment, that is only
4 Central, 5 Eastern.
Okay, because at the moment, UK hasn't yet changed its clocks. We changed them Sunday, and then we'll all be back to the regular 5 and 6 hour differences. But I will be there from 9 p.m. London time, and others will be there, no doubt, around the same, and they will be there a lot later than me. I normally only stay a couple of hours or so these days. But yeah, sometimes I kick around for the whole thing. You know, I say the whole thing.
Quick question here, real quick.
Yeah.
How many people would actually utilize a CRM for Facebook? And if you don't know what a CRM is, customer resource management tool, so you could actually tag people using Messenger, etc. Just let me know. I'm asking because
interesting little idea.
It's an idea that I have rolling around in my head. I see that there's others out there. I just want to know if you're using Facebook to engaging customers, to reach out to them, to tag, okay, I've emailed this customer this, and tag them appropriately. Not just for low ticket items. It would definitely be for a little bit more expensive item. But
it's an interesting idea. All right, cool. Well, you got some people interested in here already. So anyone else, let Kurt know as well. So 9 o'clock tonight, I'll be in the pub. I expect Kurt will be on the pub. I expect a few of you others will be. Oh, I'm also you get a video tour of my new place. I'm going to do that live on the pub tonight. So if you're interested in what an apartment looks like, there you go. Anyway, so we'll see you then. Thanks for being here live. Those of you that are live, as always, we appreciate so much those of you that make the effort to come on and be here live with us and give us that feedback and everything else, and we bounce off that, and it's great. If you're watching on the replay, well, hello anyway. And we will see you on Wednesday for Midweek Musings. And of course, in the meantime, questions, concerns, anything you're stuck on, need a bit of accountability, whatever it is, you know where to ask. Inside the main S11 group. See you next week.
Bye. The honey badger.
Oh, they're both idiots.
You know it's true.